news, I'm afraid. We don't have any extra fuses. Ethel looked everywhere.
You've got to be kidding me. No power, no portrait.
Oh, Madame Carlyle will be...
So, Madame Carlyle wants a picture taken. If you were to assist with the missing fuse, I'm sure the portrait would be one for the ages.
Furious. She expects the family photo to be done any moment now.
I need this shoot to happen, okay? And I need it to be perfect. Can't we just take a fuse from another fuse box?
I guess we could do that.
Good. I'll finish. Hey, you there!
Bad news, I'm afraid. We don't have any extra fuses. Ethel looked everywhere.
You've got to be kidding me. No power, no portrait.
Oh, Madame Carlyle.
So, Madame Carlyle wants a picture taken. If you were to assist with the missing fuse, I'm sure the portrait would be one for the ages.
Carlyle will be furious. She expects the family photo to be done any moment now.
I need this shoot to happen, okay? And I need it to be perfect. Take a fuse from another fuse box?
I guess we could do that.
Good. I'll finish setting up, and then we'll grab the fuse just before you call down the family.
Good. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Thought I heard something. Checking it out. Over.
Damn. Hey! Who's trying to break my balls here?
On top of everything, Rosie thinks she's in love with young Patrick. I mean, that's a breaking heart happening if I ever saw one. Oh, sounds like the power's back up. Why don't you take a picture to test it?
It works. I'm ready for the shoot.
Perfect. I'll call the family down now then.
Excellent, 47. Madame Carlyle is on her way down for the family photo shoot. Let's see if any memorable moments will play out in front of the camera.
Right ahead, please.
How are you doing, Patrick? Can't wait for this weekend to end. Well, you're witnessing something quite special. Your grandmother putting on such a show. How exciting.
joke with the whole fake funeral tomorrow.
It is, isn't it?
Can't let Mother get
It won't last, though. My mother will have things back in order in no
You do
time.
it.
And that's what she
I'm the
does.
youngest. Guess I just flew under the radar when it came to her attention.
I don't think so. She really respects you.
If you just stopped craving her approval.
Down by the fountain.
You're nearly 50, Edward.
I'm such a little
But you're not. You're a professor, you're artistic, you've got your music. I mean, that's really something.
It's not exactly expanding the Carlisle Empire, though. But thanks.
I expect you to be efficient. I have a lot to see to today.
I'll do my best.
That is Alexa Carlisle, unofficial leader of the Providence Partners,
Listen,
and last one
everyone.
to be alive.
I understand that you have a lot of questions. Please be patient for a little longer. I will address you in the sitting room afterwards. Right, get in position. Let's get this over with. There's a puddle of water here. Oh, never mind. Let's just get this done, shall we?
Chin up, Edward. No one wants to look at that long face.
You're such an idiot, Gregory.
I'm fine, Rebecca.
Fine. You look like a nervous wreck.
Stop bickering.
Hello. That's Madame Carlisle taken care of. Time to get the file on Arthur Edwards.
No.
Wait.
So 41 guests will attend the funeral tomorrow. There's still a lot to see to, but we're in good time.
I can't see all of this.
Mary is so upset. And she's never seen a dead body before.
Poor thing.
And that detective asked to come here. Madame Carlisle must believe Daphne was murdered. Why else ask Bad news, I'm afraid. We don't have any extra pieces. Ethel looks everywhere. No power. Madame Carlisle wants to inspect the arrangements for the staged funeral tomorrow. What's the delay?
It's the birds. They're making a racket, droppings everywhere. The undertaker wants them gone before he'll see Madame Carlisle. He's in a right state. So unless you want to take on the birds, I suggest you stay clear of him.
Oh,
Madame Carlisle is still going ahead with her staged funeral tomorrow, and she wants to inspect the arrangements. How about it, 47? You feel up to giving her the grand tour of her final resting place?
oh, my aim's horrible. Safer for everyone if I just wait here till he says he's ready for Madame.
Don't you? This may be any other day for you, but for me this is highly unusual.
Just doing my job. How is it possible to hit devious bastards?
Finally, the girls back. Just run through everything before calling Madame Carlyle down.
I'm really scared.
I am ready to show Madame Carlyle the funeral arrangements.
You got rid of the birds?
Yes.
Perfect. I'll let her know. Mr. Parsons is ready to see Madame Carlyle.
Well done, 47. Madame Carlyle is on her way. I wonder how she will like her final resting ground.
Mr. Parsons, I don't like to be kept waiting. I trust we can be efficient now I'm here.
I can be very efficient, Madame Carlyle.
What's that picture of me doing here? What an awful idea. I want it removed before the ceremony tomorrow. I must say I don't care much for the choice of flowers either. I need a moment to consider what I want. What's that podium? I find that having family members do the eulogy is more often than not a toe-cringing affair. I've never understood the need to publicly display grief. A person died. Most natural thing in the world. No need to make an emotional spectacle of it. I hope you haven't planned for one of those.
No, I prefer to keep it simple.
And the gravestone. Granite. Solid. No fuss. I like it. Well done, Mr. Parsons. I approve. So, to sum up, I expect you to remove my picture from the memorial. That was an absolutely horrendous idea. Very unfit for these historical surroundings. This is my ancestral burial ground. Simple and clean is how we've always gone about it. And how it will be this time as well. And the flowers, they look more fit for a wedding than my funeral. Maybe something natural, fitting the season and local fauna. Surely you're capable... Huh?
That's Madame Carlyle taken care of. Time to get the file on Arthur Edwards.
Where's Madame Carlyle?
She needed a rest.
Oh. Excuse me, sir.
A locked room murder mystery, 47. I trust you'll get to the bottom of this. A famous private investigator summoned by Alexa Carlyle has arrived at Thornbridge Manor. If you take his place, it may be an opportunity to get close to Madame Carlyle.
Sir?
Why don't you use your camera to scan the dead body, 47?
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47. Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night. Not exactly what you would expect from someone suicidal. Zachary's suicide note. Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity.
A hidden door.
It's a secret passage. This could explain how the door was locked from the inside. A photocopy of the floor plans. Somebody's been researching the secret ins and outs of Thornbridge Manor. I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Well, that means the staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
This is very useful information, 47. So how does one solve a murder mystery, 47? Motive, means, and opportunity, I believe. May I suggest you ask the suspects for alibis? Or perhaps you prefer searching the manor for clues first?
It's bloody rude, that's what it is. You look tanned. I bet Mother spent the last week at her Cyprus estate. Am I right?
I'm not at liberty to say, ma'am.
Oh, come on. I need to know what's going on. This affects me too, you know.
Rebecca Carlyle, can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers and I. I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps. Now, let's see. Patrick, Gregory's son, disappeared straight after dinner. You know, I think he might be in some sort of trouble. Edward wanted to go as well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 9:15. I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange. You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends. Is that everything, Mr. Whitmer?
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's room early this afternoon. And he seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Emma Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around 8 o'clock. Anything else you want to know?
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest. His presence was always awkward. But how do you have a meaningful conversation with a man who only cares about plants? In my opinion, Alexa bears some responsibility for how this ended. She supported his self-limiting behavior by letting him live here. Is that all?
Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing special comes to mind. Except, perhaps, I did get a feeling that Zachary was depressed, not just sad. I suppose he realized that he had no one with Alexa gone. Even Alexa must feel the pangs of guilt over that one, letting him believe she was dead. Then again, guilt isn't her strong suit.
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Is that all?
Not tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle, but who could blame him? Only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger bore. He's better off dead. Anything else you want to pry from my intricate intellect?
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing, really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
Professor Edward Carlyle, can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes, this dreadful business with Zachary. I stay at the local inn. You see, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. My brother Gregory came along for a nightcap. He'll never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. Anything else I can do to help?
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, he was upset by Mother's supposed death. We were. But he seemed more engaged than usual. You should ask Rebecca. They had a long talk. Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years? His plants, Mother, and the staff were all the company he had. If that's all, I have a speech to write.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
You mean apart from the fact that we came here to bury our mother and she shows up alive and kicking? Zachary found dead in his bed this morning? Or perhaps that the planned funeral is still taking place and I have to do the eulogy? And Mother will surely have a strong opinion on it afterwards. I can't breathe. Excuse me.
You always led by example rather than by words.
Patrick Carlisle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Shit, it's that sneaky butler, isn't it? He ratted me out. Elaine, give us some privacy, would you? Don't tell Mother, okay? She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind. If that's all, I think I'll get back to my slow death by boredom.
What did you think of Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live in a museum. You know, Father says Zachary and Alexia used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him, then suddenly he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy chose looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles. So, is that it?
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
No. I reckon Zachary tops himself. I know I would have. Or perhaps Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it.
Bad news, I'm afraid. We don't have any extra fuses. Ethel looked as... Bad news, I'm afraid.
Broken lab equipment. It looks like it was recently used, though.
This is a table showing lethal dosages for the poison used to kill Zachary.
Something is circled, 47. Female, age 65 to 79, 60 to 64 kilograms. I'd say Madame Carlisle is next in line for a poisoning. That is the door to Mr. Fernsby's office.
Painkillers. Lethal if you use enough of them.
But not the poison used to kill Zachary. Of course, Madame Carlisle doesn't know that. Are you considering to frame the butler, 47? Zachary's diary. This is big. He was about to confess to the world that he and Alexa murdered their older brother Montgomery 46 years ago. And apparently, Mr. Fernsby helped make the murder look like an accident. And 47, the handwriting doesn't match the suicide letter in his room, proving he didn't write it himself. Mr. Fernsby clearly didn't commit the murder, but I think you have enough evidence to convince Madame Carlisle he did. Maybe you should tell him you are ready to present your findings. That is the door to Rebecca's room. Unless, of course, you want to do some more detecting, 47? I can see from the log that Rebecca was in a conference call from 9 p.m. to midnight last night. That door leads to Emma and Gregory's room. A keychain pendant for the greenhouse. What's that doing in Emma and Gregory's room, I wonder? And why is the key missing? Now this is interesting, 47. A letter from Emma's mother stating that Emma is the illegitimate child of Alexa's late older brother, Montgomery. And listen to this. She claims to have witnessed Alexa and Zachary murder him. The plot thickens. You have uncovered enough evidence to tell Madame Carlyle that Emma is the murderer. Quite the detective, 47. I'm impressed. I suggest you go tell Mr. Fernsby.
Just remembered, I went to the shop and I greenhouse. That's where I got fun. 22 find a graver.
Unless you think there are more. An old letter, 40. You're an excellent detective, 47. Uncovering
I'm ready
truths
to present my
half a century
conclusion
old.
to Madame Carlyle.
Very well.
If you frame it correctly, I believe you could use the information to convince Madame Carlyle that Zachary committed suicide. Maybe you should ask Mr. Fernsby to see her.
Looking good, looking good.
This is Madame Carlyle's
Hi there.
office. Please step inside.
Your detective skills have gained you access to the Lion's Den, 47. Now, go claim your reward.
So, Mr. Whitmer, you've reached a conclusion. Take a seat. Please, go ahead.
Your niece, Emma Carlyle, murdered your brother Zachary.
My niece? Emma is not my niece. She's my daughter-in-law.
And your niece. Emma is the illegitimate child of your late older brother Montgomery, who you and Zachary killed 46 years ago.
That's preposterous.
You asked me to find out what happened to Zachary. Would you rather not know?
No. No, go on.
I found a letter from Emma's mother, Jane, who was the fiancée of your older brother at the time of his death. She witnessed how you and Zachary pushed him off the balcony. She believed you did it to steal the Carlyle empire from her and her unborn child. And she raised Emma to reclaim what she lost. Marry your heir, Gregory, get revenge, and secure the Carlyle empire for her bloodline generations to come.
Emma is the daughter of Montgomery and that local girl, Jane.
She is.
Well, the girl got it wrong. I didn't steal anything. I did what was necessary to protect the future of the Carlyles. Montgomery wasn't cut out to take over from father. All heart and no balls.
Emma used the funeral gathering to speed up her installment as the lady of the house, seizing the opportunity to stage Zachary's suicide. She did her homework, used a poison made from one of Zachary's rare plants, found old floor plans from Thornbridge Manor to gain access to his room through a secret passage.
That scheming bitch.
More than you think. I found proof that she will try to poison you next.
Well, I'll have to take care of that. Thank you, Mr. Whitmer. You have not disappointed. I promised you I would reward you generously if you solved the case. So, what do you suggest?
I want the file you have on Arthur Edwards.
Edwards, the Constant. But how do you... Oh, I see. I expected you might show up. But to kill me, not help me. But I've been wrong on so many things lately, so why not this one? I will give you the file on Edwards. You've earned it. I don't suppose I could convince you to deal with my daughter-in-law now you're here. I would like to see her dead. No? What a shame. I'll have to see to it some other way then. The file you want is in the safe. God, I hope you get Edwards and make him hurt. I need some privacy. Thank you.
No need to panic.
Good work, 47. That's the file on Arthur Edwards secured. Time to take care of Madame Carlyle.
What?
Mission complete. Well done, 47.